15 old-school frugal habits to save money and simplify your life. Number 1. Forage in your area. Where I live, berries grow in the wild. Blackberries are quite invasive. My yard has tons of blackberry vines popping up all over. Once I learned how good raspberry and blackberry leaves are for you, I started collecting them to make tea. We have several mushroom hunter clubs in our area too. I would love to go out with someone knowledgeable before venturing off on my own. There were quite a few common weeds that are also something you can forage for as long as you don't put pesticides in your garden. One question I asked the owner of the house I just bought was if she ever put pesticides on the yard. I was lucky because the owner was the one and only person that lived in the house that she had for 30 years. She informed me that she never used any pesticides at all. I was so happy about this because I use dandelion greens from my yard in my vegetable juices, and I also make tea out of the dandelion root. Foraging is a growing pastime, so check to see if there are local groups in your area you can join. Meeting new people and getting some exercise is a bonus. Number 2. Become a chicken owner. Having fresh eggs right outside your door is one of the best ways to learn to be self-sufficient. If you don't have the room or not allowed to raise your own chickens, make friends with someone who does. I buy my eggs from someone that absolutely loves chickens. Their pen is always in pristine condition, and she takes pride in serving the community by selling eggs. If you're able to raise your own chickens, it will benefit your family in ways you can't imagine. There's something magical about going outside with a basket to gather eggs and then cooking them for your family for breakfast. Raising chickens will also give your children to take part in learning where their food comes from. Number 3. Learn to batch cook. We all could use more free time. Batch cooking not only does just that, but it also saves you money. One of the best investments you can make is having a separate freezer. I can't imagine living without my extra freezer. It ensures nothing goes to waste, and I'm able to cook multiple meals at the same time and freeze for later when I have a time crunch. For an entire year, a freezer will cost you approximately $60 for electricity. That's about $5 per month. I get way more savings than that for having one. I know 2 friends that get together once a month for a cooking day. They cook enough meals to freeze so they can just pop a meal into the oven when they are short on time. By cooking these meals together, they are able to catch up on each other's busy lives and complete a chore at the same time. They look for specials at the store and make a meal plan in advance for their monthly get-together. Number 4. Learn how to barter. Bartering is a skill we should all learn. How much simpler would life be if we had friends that could help us with things in exchange for something of yours? You could also see if there are local bartering groups in your area to join. If you feel like you don't have anything to barter with, think again. If you know how to cook, you can exchange pies, bread, or casseroles. Marketing experts can lend their hand with small businesses to help them gain market share. You can even offer babysitting services in exchange for their expertise. The possibilities are endless. Number 5. Teach yourself how to repair things. One of the best things about the time period we live in is the ease at which we can learn new skills. YouTube is my go-to place when I'm trying to repair something. I've even taken apart my washing machine several times and figured out what was wrong. I will say at the time, the washer I took apart wasn't one of those fancy machines, so it was more manageable. Number 6. Make your own homemade gifts. Instead of spending money on gift items, why not teach yourself a skill at the same time and give your friends and family members something from the heart? If you love to can, give them a basket full of your favorite canning items with the recipes attached to the jar. Artists can paint cute, rustic signs for their friends' gardens. Photographers can offer to take family pictures at a fun location. The possibilities are endless. The best thing to do is to become good at just one thing. If you do, everyone would rather have something you made versus something you bought. Number 7. Make homemade cleaning products. We've recently seen how fast cleaning supplies go in a national emergency. Now that you've tried your hand at making your own cleaning products, why not go all in and learn how to make everything you need to keep your world tidy? You can make your own soap, window cleaner, toilet cleaner, etc. It's a skill that takes a little bit of work to start, but soon you'll find out how easy it is. Make sure you get your cleaning product recipes from a reputable source. If you mix certain ingredients, it can create toxic fumes. Number 8. Make homemade beauty products. Most of us don't realize how toxic the ingredients are in the beauty products we use. Makeup, perfume, and even toothpaste can have things in them that are not the best for our health. I once had someone put a product on my feet, and within minutes I could taste it in my mouth. That's how fast things are absorbed in our skin. Number 9. Learn how to sew. Buying new clothes has become a national pastime. Fashion changes from season to season to get consumers to buy the latest trend. What if we stopped going on that hamster wheel and just bought good quality items to begin with? If you learn to sew, you will be able to repair your clothing easily. One of my favorite ideas for frugal living is to wear your jeans until they are so worn they require patches. Some people have turned their jeans into works of art with this idea. You could also make your curtains from tablecloths. I once used embroidered vintage pillowcases as a valance for my kitchen window. Sewing is a frugal living skill that will come in handy. Number 10. Use milk paint to refinish furniture. Buying furniture is expensive. There's a way to have a fantastic-looking home for very little money. You can buy thrift store furniture that is made from real wood and use milk paint to make them beautiful. I love my milk-painted furniture. Everyone asks where I got my furniture because it's all unique. Most of my furniture came from either thrift stores and garage sales, but looks as though I spent a fortune on my home decor. It's one of my favorite simple habits. Number 11. Start your own business. One of the best things you can do for yourself is to start your own business. You can start small and build it on your off hours. As we recently experienced, you can't always bank on having a job in a continually changing economic climate. Why not start a side job so you don't have all your eggs in one basket? Who knows, maybe your side job will net significant results and you can live the life of your dreams. Number 12. Family compound. Recently, I went to the home of someone that lived in an apartment on her family's small farm. Her parents lived in the small farmhouse on the front of the property, and tucked away in the back were multiple apartments. What was so unique about this housing situation was that both her siblings lived in the apartments along with their families. Her grandmother and aunt occupied 2 other apartments. When you walked into her home, you would have never believed you were in an apartment. There was a sizable sunken living space with a massive fireplace. She said every apartment looked exactly like hers. The family built a playground for the children in the courtyard of all the apartments. Everyone loved living together because they all helped one another. Whenever someone needed a babysitter, someone was always available. My mom recently moved across the country to live in my sister's house. She bought a house that has an apartment over the garage for her son, a daylight basement living quarters for my mom, and then the rest of the house for her husband, daughter, and herself. Because of their decision to leave a state in which housing was expensive and relocate to a cheaper area, my sister and her husband were able to purchase a multi-family house for way less money than their previous home. I think we are going to see more and more family compounds in the future. It makes financial sense as well as being something good for the soul. Number 13. Smaller home. Downsizing your life might be the perfect way to reap a big payoff. In the Cozy Living group, I share photos of cottages and cabins, both inside and outside, for ideas on how to create a space you love. When I first started the group, I made a conscious choice not to show large homes or rooms because I didn't want to add more pressure to a culture that says bigger is better. It's something I don't believe in. You can have the tiniest of homes, but if it's filled with love and joy, no mansion can compare to its value. Downsizing can mean working fewer hours at your job, less upkeep, and fewer things to buy to fill up space. One of the things I did before buying my new home was to ask the owner for the last year of her power bills. I wanted to make sure my house was well insulated. I made the mistake of not asking the owner of my previous home that question. I was pleasantly surprised to find her power bills very reasonable throughout the year. Even though you're buying a smaller home, you want to make sure there aren't any financial surprises that go along with it. Number 14. Tiny homes. Building a tiny mobile home is all the rage right now. I love the concept of them because they allow people to take them with them wherever they go. Make sure you look into the property laws in your area before going this route. I know that some areas of the country are making it more challenging to have one. You can also have a tiny home built for you that isn't mobile. There's a shed company in my area that makes the most amazing tiny homes. They feel so spacious because he builds them tall and adds a lot of windows. He also adds a front porch, back porch, and a balcony to the loft bedroom. My neighbor will be building her tiny home this summer. She bought the acre property next to me a year ago and started putting in her food forest. It took her a while to sell her home, but now she's ready to build her retirement property. Number 15. Rural living. I think in the future there will be more opportunities to work remotely. That's great news. Do you know there are still rural towns that have homes that sell for around $60,000? Imagine having a house payment like that. There was a couple that moved from San Francisco and started working remotely in a small town. They were able to build a life they loved running their own business. Because they were located near a national attraction, they were able to purchase homes inexpensively and remodel them for tourists to rent out during the busy seasons. The rent they receive during the busy times ends up paying the mortgage for the entire year. Also watch other videos on this channel about frugality and how to save money.